I've been in the food service industry for about 20 years. I started first when I was 16 in a small town in South Manitoba, but really started in Regina when I moved here for university about 20 years ago. And it really showed me how the Regina food scene works and gave me some inspiration in getting my own. Frying Deutschmann food truck, I started that in 2019. It was an expansion of my food truck business. I had started off having a Mexican food truck before that. We travel all over Saskatchewan, Moose Jaw, Saskatoon, Langham, we go into Manitoba.
I have been working with Tim for a long time, and with the food trucks, our next step was to open up a storefront. So it's just a great way to have a home base, essentially.
The evolution from food truck operation to Dad's Diner was evolution of growth. In order to maintain income through the year, I needed to have something to do in the winter, and it just came about that I had a permanent location that I could work with, and it ended up being a really comfortable natural progression from roaming around the province to being situated in one spot for a while. Dad's Diner is hoping to provide the community a comfortable place to come and eat, some German-inspired meal favorites. We also have very great diner food, burgers, chili, soups, everything made from scratch.
Some of our best-selling items are the Nashville Schnitzel sandwich, which is a schnitzel dipped in our homemade Nashville sauce. If you want to go with a traditional route, our Hunter Schnitzel with the schnitzel and our homemade mushroom gravy on top with a side of spätzle and braised red cabbage. My favorite dessert here is the chocolate cake. Although our cinnamon buns are to die for, I love Tim's mom's chocolate cake.
Our dessert options are lovingly creative. The chocolate cake is a recipe that I grew up with. It was my mom's chocolate cake. She passed when I was 16, and my sister made me a recipe book of some of the recipes from my mom's recipe box. And just a couple weeks before I was opening the restaurant, I happened to find this book again in my basement. And I opened it up, and there was Mom's chocolate cake recipe. And it's like, this has to go on the menu. It just had to be, and they've become quite popular. Our cinnamon buns, which have been very, 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 very well received. That's a recipe that I built from scratch myself. It was kind of based on the memories of the way my grandmother's buns tasted and the way they felt in your mouth and how they chewed. And I just worked with the recipe to get it down to where I filled those memories, and then I solidified it, and then we finished that off with a delicious brown butter and bourbon caramel sauce. We source all of our buns from Northgate Bakery, and then we also source some of our meats from Fellinger's, which is a butcher shop just off the street. Supporting other businesses with my business keeps those dollars local, keeps it in the community, whether it's our suppliers for our food items, local auto shops for the food truck. That fosters community growth and community support.
Having the support in community is really uplifting. Word of mouth has been amazing. Everyone's been super supportive and super excited. I had this one lady come in and she told me that her aunt in Calgary told her to come in because she saw one of our ads, and I was like, that's super cool.
I want it to be an experience like you're visiting a friend and they're gonna make you dinner. Everybody who comes in this door, I consider them a dear friend who's come from a long way to come and have a meal with me. And that's the feeling that goes into every dish. Dad's Diner, the name came about as a result of a few different things. First off, I used to read a lot of Archie comics when I was a kid. So they had Pop's Diner, and I like the idea of that. I like the idea and the feel. But one of my favorite things about my life right now is also being a dad. They're there for me every day when I get home. They come and eat here at least once a week, and I love my dad very much. I wouldn't be here except for the help that he's given me. He's worked really hard and showed me the value of hard work.
Tim likes to do the dad jokes. It's kind of the theme throughout this restaurant right now. Eric is an amazing person. I've worked with him at other restaurants as well, and we're a good team. We work together, joke around.
I absolutely love what I do. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be here. Making food for people is one of the things that makes me absolutely happiest in life.
I am very passionate about this business. I just love making people happy and satisfied with their experience.
If you want to learn more, you can find us on Facebook under Dad's Diner YQR or our webpage, reginafoodtruckandcatering.ca.
Is there a restaurant or beverage producer you'd like to see featured on MaxTV Local? Let us know at SaskTel.com/local.